Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the AMX M4 Mini 54. It's a tier 10 French heavy tank. It's located on the west spawn of Studzianki under the command of FUSMELL. Now he's been sending a lot of replays in for this tank because he's actually been playing it quite a lot and doing quite well. Game on. 13cm main gun. It's capable of doing 560 alpha and penetrating 250mm of armor with the standard rounds, but he's loaded some premium rounds and they go through 296mm of armor. As you may have seen on previous videos where we featured the M454, it does have very strong armor at the front of the tank, but fairly weak armor on the sides and the rear. Okay, it's off to the factory. I often thought this was a power plant when I saw the stacks, but actual fact it is technically a factory with a rail station built in. Okay, well, E75 has been spotted and a mouse. This is a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it. And yeah, I'm afraid the chieftain managed to get around into us for 444 and he hit the gunner. So you're going to have to put your gunner back in, FUSMELL, or your shots are not going to be accurate. Well, unfortunately his teammate in the ST1 is blocking him there. Obviously didn't realise that he was going to be pulling back on that corner. ST1 takes a shot. FUSMELL still hasn't noticed that his gunner's gone down, and he tries to get a shot on the mouse, but unfortunately it is blocked. The mouse is coming on. The ST1 managed to get a shot into him. It's going to be difficult to take this guy down unless you can fire accurately at the weak spots. That's a weak spot. Yes, he gets the weak spot precisely there. Does 633, which is a high roll. He still hasn't fixed his gunner. Oh no, that hit the manlet. Yeah, he needs to fix his gunner. It wasn't aimed precisely at the weak spot, but it was close. Oh, he's got his gunner back in. He suddenly noticed. Okay, now pokes out. The mouse is down. Trying to get shots on the enemy. Can't see the chieftain, but he can see he's only 5. Tries to get the side of the turret, but unfortunately it hit the oblique sides, which made the shell ricochet off. There's another enemy mouse down the far end. That was a little better, but unfortunately didn't pan. Right, the ST1's decided he's going to go ahead and use the mouse for cover whilst he's firing at it. Side scraping off the mouse. Okay, now that's better. That was on the flat surface, and that one went through, and it was an average roll. Don't often see average rolls these days. The standard reload is 15.15 seconds, and we can see that FUSMELL's got it down to 10.94. That's a very good saving. Now he's worried about moving forward because there's an M48 pattern up near the copse. If he does go forward, he's likely to take fire from that 105mm gun. Fires one at the conway. Right down the other end of the railway line. He was spotted briefly. Okay, can we see where the conway is? Using the mini-map for indications where the target is. That can work actually, funnily enough. I've seen some of the top streamers do that, and they've actually taken out tanks which they couldn't actually see from a long way away, just using the map for to aim the gun along the right line. Oh, headshot. Yes. And he was lucky there. He got 594, which is a low roll. No, it's a high roll. What am I saying? But in actual fact, somebody else got a hit at the same time, and the FB4005 is now out of the game. Okay, no. The enemy is pulled back around the corner. I think they're trying to encourage us to go down here. There's the chieftain. Well, we've managed to get him, but now we're taking fire from that M48, so we need to get behind this barn quick. Okay, that's good. So we've got cover. Now he's side-scraping to try and take out this M48. He does fire a 105mm round in, and it does penetrate for 401, which is a high roll for him. Oh, now he's being shot in the rear by the enemy down the far end. That was the Leopard prototype firing his 105mm. So we now need to try and take him out. There's the ST1 right down the other end by the church. You can't get an outline. Might be able to take out the M103. No, doesn't appear to. He's still being spotted. It looks like the M48's gone up on top of the mound on the cops. Udez is having it out with him. In the meantime, we've moved down to where the ST1 is located. They're going to take up their position. The M103 did briefing, I think. Oh, no, he's been taken out, so he's gone. Now, it seems that our teammates have everything in hand down the far end, but he can hit the type, and he does, and gets a high roll for 632. So his damage has now reached 2.5k. Go for the type. Oh, just missed him. The shell went zipping behind the type as he pulled away. Okay, can he hit the Leopard, the guy who hit him? Yes, he can. And he does. It's a high roll for 602. That's nice payback considering the guy hit him on the other end of the map. Can he do the same again? I hope so. Be nice if he could. Oh no, it went right in front of the turret on the Leopard, and he's pulling back because he knows he's under pressure. I'm still waiting for that reload to go in. He tries to fire blind. Unfortunately, doesn't connect as far as we know. Our Object 260 is really pushing, so keep looking in that direction because it might be that the Leopard's having to pull back even more. There's the Leopard. He did pull back even more. He went behind the mound, so we're not going to get another chance on him unless he goes up. But there's somebody we can hit, and that's the T92 HMC, the enemy Arty, and he's gone. Okay, so now we go around the corner and deal with the Chieftain, the one who hit us earlier in the game. Hello, Mr. Chieftain. And he takes one right up his rear. He leaves him on only 7 hit points, so he is now one shot for anyone. And he looks like he's going to get the kill. Yes, he does. Now, dealing with that M48 pattern, the enemy convoy was destroyed, so he's got no protection. He doesn't have to worry about what's to his left, but he can deal with this guy. And he does get a hit there for 574, which is a high roll. But now the convoy is actually, well, the position's been taken up by a CS59, so maybe we need to move. Our platoon mate is the Jaeger in this game, and that's a nice shot to kill the pattern. So that's payback for the shots he fired to us. We're now at 4.2k. There's only one enemy left. It's the CS59. We're driving to get there as fast as we can. Oh, and he fires one round into us for 384, but he's about to die. Will we get the kill shot? Yes! Well done, FUSMELL. Good game. Well, at the end of the first battle, FUSMELL managed to get a second-class tanker in the AMX M4 He got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and he got a Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy tanks in this game. Yes, he did get hit by quite a few, but he managed to pay them back. Some of the tanks that hit him were taken out by him, including the, well, all 3 of them were actually, the Chieftain, the Patton, and that CS59 right at the end of the game to finish the game off. His win rate from the game was 4,734, which is Super Unicum standard and a bit more. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he came. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That went to his ST1 partner, who got a Confederate but didn't get the high caliber. He got 4,880 hit points. Second highest damage did go to FUSMELL. He managed 4,356. And the third highest damage actually went to the Chieftain on the enemy team, the one he killed, 4,319. When it came to kills, it was actually the Charfu 4 on his own team who managed to get the highest number with 5. FUSMELL was in second place, joint second place, because he got 3 kills, and the Object 260 was the dominant tank down in the south of the map. He got 3 kills as well. And in joint third place, the Gorilla 15 on his own team and the Leopard prototype on the enemy team, and he managed to get a tank sniper for the most damage at 300 meters or more, because yes, he was firing north at the ST1 and at FUSMELL. He fired 22 shots in that game, 15 direct hits and 10 penetrations. Shells weren't as accurate as he probably would have liked, but some of that was down to the fact that he didn't put his gunner back in. He should have noticed that straight away as soon as he lost his gunner, but yeah, it took him a little while to recognise that he had lost it, because he was still getting accurate shots because they were over close range. He did damage of 4,356 hit points, of which 1,234 were at more than 300 meters. Those are the shots on the Type 61 and the Leopard prototype down in the south. He received 7 hits from the enemy, 5 of which penetrated, which is unusual considering he was showing the frontal armor most of the time, and that's very strong armor. But unfortunately, just occasionally, either he got hit in the side when he was trying to move into the center of the map from the pattern, and he also got hit by that Leopard prototype as well, right away from the south, and he must have picked a weak spot to go through the sides. As I said, the sides and the rear of an M454 are fairly weak on armor, so even a 105mm gun at long range is going to have no trouble going through. You have to keep your front to the enemy and keep your turret straight at the enemy to make use of that incredible armor on this vehicle. 2 non-penetrations as well. Those are the rounds that bounced off the armor. 730 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, and 855 hit points of damage assist. He earned 61,734 credits on a on a premium count rather. But after repair and ammunition respawn, yes, he did use a lot of premium ammo to get the effect. He actually made a small loss of, well, small, 52,258 is not a small amount, but yeah, he did get the win. He also got 25 bonds and 7 bonds because this was tier 10, 32 in total. 1,683 XP times 2 for the first victory, 3,366 experience points altogether. This battle took place before Christmas. Yes, it was in November actually, but he has done subsequent games, and we're about to see his next one. The second battle is on Abbey, and we're on the North Spawn. I say North Spawn actually, but whenever you actually enter these battles, normally it puts you on the North Spawn, even if you have to be on the South Spawn. Yeah, I know. Just an odd quirk, actually. I've noticed that it tends to put you on one particular end of the map or the other, and it tends to be the North one, regardless of this specific map, that is. Anyway, okay, so he's going off down Heavy Alley on the west side of the map. 13cm gun with a 560 Alpha. Now the T110E4 decided to go out ahead of us, but I think he's slowed down just a little bit to let us catch up, because he doesn't want to take the first shell. I think he's going to let FUSMELL take the first shell. He has gone out wide there. He might be the first one to spot the enemy coming up this way. And the first enemy that is spotted is a Hesh bomb, but he's a long way off. In fact, he's actually engaging our tanks who are in the centre of the map at the moment. Well, that's what it appears to be, because our guy's got the Abbey itself. Now we're expecting there to be an enemy tank just down the other end of this line, because there's a VK7201K and a T110E5 been spotted. The Hesh bomb, I don't think we have to worry about. He's busy elsewhere. Keeps looking over that direction, but I don't think that Hesh bomb's coming our way. He is likely, we're likely to see the VK first. Okay, remember this thing's got very heavy armor at the front, so long as you don't let the enemy hit your sides. Weak armor at the sides. And actually it's the E3. Oh! And that hit the tracks and bounced off. That's annoying. He actually did for a moment have the lower plate of that E5. And again, no result from that one. Okay, the E5 is probably a bit worried. He's facing a 13cm. Yes, he does take that hit, and it's a high roll for 585. The E100's reluctant to come out and do any damage, and the E5 is now one shot, and that one hit the tracks, so it's kept him in place, but it didn't do any damage. And the kill shot comes from the E4. Now we've got the E100, who managed to bounce around off our heavy armour, but that round did nothing in return. I think he could move up now, except of course the enemy has now captured the Abbey, which means they might be shooting in our sides, so we need to watch out, because there's a couple of enemy tanks, the Progettos, who are actually in the Abbey itself, so watch out. Try and use the rock. It's got the lower plate. That's easy. Yes, a high roll 640. Use the rocks to his left for cover, to make sure that nobody can shoot at him from the Abbey. And just push the enemy back bit by bit. E100 goes for the flat plate, gets it. 516, low roll. Just firing the premium ammo, but he has to if he wants to get reliable pens. The low plate. Well, he didn't get that one through, and it actually was aimed at the lower plate, but you can see the mark that it left. Now, can you get a shot? Could go for the flat plate. Oh, that was the mantlet. No, that didn't work. You've got to aim for the flat surfaces. He was angling his turret to try and stop you getting a pen. Now you can get it. And no, he didn't get it because it ricocheted off. The IS-7 and the E4 are taking hits from this guy. Now I think we're going to get round him and shoot at him from his weak side. And the E100 knows that, and we do take one round. And there's the Heshbon. Oh dear. And we're still in reload. So we need to kill this Heshbon quick, otherwise we're going to take a whacking. And yes, we do. Whew. Okay, so he's got rid of the Heshbon. The E100 is now outmaneuvered, and one shot will kill this guy. One in the turret. Yep, that got him. Okay, so now he can take on the other enemies. The VK decided to go up the other side. Remember, the weak spot's the shoulders of this tank, so get alongside there. Oh, he's actually going to take this side of the vehicle. Gets a low roll for 552, but he's going to get behind him and shoot into his ass. And he's almost ready to fire. Yep, that one in. Low roll again, 522. Okay, he's going to stay around to get rid of this VK. Ready one up on the enemy. The kill shot actually goes to the E4, but now we've got two enemy Artys to deal with. They've come up round this corner, and oh, that was cheeky. That's the Object 261. Yeah, he's trying to run away. There's one. We took a round from the E100 actually in the rear. Luckily, it wasn't that dangerous. The shot the Object 261 fired did 510 hit points. Would you believe that? But there goes the E100. So that was a very lucky shot for the Object 261 to actually get that one in. There's only 3 enemies left, 2 Progettos and 1 Struv 103B. The Progettos are over on the far side of the map, and that's why we didn't get shot from the Abbey, because they weren't there anymore. They'd actually gone up the east side. In fact, it looks like all 3 enemy vehicles went up that side, and now the Struv's coming back from our cap area, and he's gone down the eastern channel. Okay, where's the Progetto? We can't see him, he's on the far side. Okay, we need to get closer. Oh, this is cheeky. Very cheeky, because we could get hit by that Struv 103B. Well, he managed to save himself a little time by dismounting that area. He needs to watch out for that Struv 103B though. Okay, we're going after the Progetto. It's the tier 10 one. It's very low on hit points, that guy. And we've lost sight of them. Oh, here comes the Struv. I think that was a bit of a mistake, tactical mistake by the Struv, because he's effectively trying to engage in battle with the AMX M4 54. Oh, well, he managed to block that shot, and we blocked the shot that came from him. but if he comes up further, we'll get a shot into his side, and that will be the end of him. Oh, that one didn't go in either, and the Progetto's starting to shoot us in the side now with his 105mm. In fact, he got 2 shots into us, and we're now down to a 1 shot. And the Striv, well, the Striv's now about to experience the 705. And that's the end of him. 545 from that last shot. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second class tanker for FUSMELL in the AMX M4 54. He managed to get a fighter badge in that game for getting at least 4 kills. He did get 4 exactly, and most of those on the west side of the map. He also picked up a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle, and yet again another Hand of God for surviving the battle and received damage from 4 different enemy tanks. Okay, 4,884 was the win 8 from that one. So let's have a look at the team scores and see where he came. Well, yet again he got the second highest damage on his team, or getting not getting the top spot. That actually went to the E4 on his team with 5,124. He didn't get the high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. The second highest damage in the game actually went to the E100 with 4,487. And then we've got FUSMELL just behind him with 4,460. So only 27 hit points in it at the end of that game. When it came to kills, though, FUSMELL had the highest number with 4. 3 kills went to the E4, the Progetto 65, and 2 kills went to the VK on the enemy team. Their Progetto 65, another Progetto 65, and a Striv 103B. And when it came to base XP, yep, FUSMELL got that one with 1,135. The only player to get over 1,000. 971 went to the E4, and the same amount went to the Progetto 65 on our team. FUSMELL fired 20 rounds in this one, got 15 direct hits on the enemy and 10 penetrations. So yes, he didn't need to use the premium rounds to make it work, but he was having a bit of difficulty. Some of his shots were aimed at the tracks and he was trying to get the lower plate, but the enemy was determined not to show his lower plate. And under those circumstances, it can be very, very difficult to get a penetrating shot. 4,460 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range. He received 9 hits from the enemy. 4 of those were penetrations, 4 non-penetrations, and 2 hits by way of splash. And they came from the Object 261, one of which actually got quite a big roll on him when he actually fired that round. But of course, he immediately then received the 13cm shell in return, and that was the end of his game. 1,980 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, those were both the Arty. 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, 4 were killed, 791 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he earned 65,991 credits, got 32,996 from personal reserves, and the same again from the holiday ops, 131,983 credits altogether. And after repair and ammunition resupply, this time round he actually did make a profit, but if he'd actually been on a free-to-play account, he would have made a loss. 14,922 credits profit. He got 7 bonds because it was tier 10, and 1,702 XP, 10,218 from holiday ops, very nice, and 1,702 from personal reserves, so took away 13,623 experience points altogether. I know there can be a lot of anxious to actually fire the shell or fire the gun off to get that shot in and pull back before the enemy can get a return fire. A couple of times he did fire at that E100, but the guy had actually turned his turret to try and block the shot. And that is what you do with an E100, because a turret that's actually been turned like that makes those frontal areas virtually impossible to penetrate. And under those circumstances, the best thing you can do is aim for the lower plate, but he was hiding that lower plate as well. He did do the right thing, though. When the E100 was actually trying desperately to block the shots by turning his turret like that, driving up and shooting them in the side is the easiest way to get around it. And the moment he did that, obviously he encountered the Heshbon, and that's a heart attack moment, especially when you see a Heshbon at close range. He obviously wasn't loaded at that particular moment in time, and he was lucky because he was able to get around into the Heshbon side before the Heshbon could respond. And that was good news. But also he actually managed to get a nice side shot into the turret of the E100 to finish him off as well. at the end. Yes, he ended the game on very, very little hit points. Went in for that last desperate YOLO to try and take out the Striv, and all he got was one hit into the Striv. He didn't take the kill for the Striv, unfortunately, because the 705 had already bagged that, and he was going to get it regardless. But it was interesting, you know, sometimes when there's so few enemies left on their team, it's worth just trying something absolutely ridiculous or hilarious just to try and win the game, even if you have to jump on somebody to do it. But that was a very brave move by FUSMELL, considering he didn't have much in the way of hit points left, and that Striv was facing him, could have shot him in the lower plate and finished his game off, but luckily it worked, because the Striv must have been in reload, and he must have thought to himself, that Striv, I've got a tank on one side of me and a tank charging towards me, who's going to get me first? And he probably just gave up. But good game all the same by FUSMELL. I'm sure that sometime in the near future he will be supplying some replays showing him getting his marks of excellence, as well as ace tankers and also high calibers and the like. He certainly goes into battle thinking he's going to get some damage, and he certainly does. If you enjoyed that replay, or pair of replays I should say, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.